Before watching the video, why don't you consider liking and subscribing? I make videos every week. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a quick video for you, as I want to discuss Star Wars Bad Batch. So if you didn't know, The Bad Batch is an animated show, which is a sequel to the previously very known animated Star Wars show called Star Wars The Clone Wars, and its second season aired on January 4th. Well, the first 2 episodes. Currently we have those 3 episodes, and after the 3rd episode I just knew I had to make a video on the show. Originally I actually wanted to make a video about why I was excited for the show coming out. I wanted to make that video back in December, but I never got around to doing it. I have an entire script still. But in the end, the show came out and, well, it met my expectations. It's just what I expected it to be. I really love this show, mostly because of 2 things. First of all, the animation is spectacular. I always enjoy Star Wars when it's animated. I think Star Wars has a great variety of animation styles, and the Clone Wars animation style is my personal favorite, so it's great to see it again here, and it looks even better than it did in Season 1. Second of all, the storytelling. The storytelling in Star Wars is always simple. That's why Star Wars is beloved by so many people, as the storytelling is very simple and generic. But the way it's presented, it makes it feel more impactful. For example, Star Wars usually is very simple, you know, it's about bad guys fighting good guys, but the way those characters actually interact with each other and the way those characters are written is what makes Star Wars stick with us. And that's what I always appreciate about animated Star Wars, because animated Star Wars is usually, well, it's usually produced by the one and only Dave Filoni, who was taken under George Lucas's wing while he directed the Clone Wars and wrote the Clone Wars with him, which means that he still has that influence, and Dave Filoni's content is usually beloved by fans, mostly for one reason: it feels like George Lucas Star Wars. But that's not what I want to discuss today. I want to discuss just how well The Bad Batch is currently written with its characters. I really like the morality that is being shown in this show. What I mean by that is the characters are way more three-dimensional than they were before. For example, in the first 2-parter that we got on January 4th, there was this very interesting scene with a separatist, and it showed one of the Bad Batch members, a clone, interacting with a separatist, and their conversation was very thoughtful, as it showed how the Republic basically weren't really that good, you know? You could definitely see the seeds of the Empire there, as they basically, what they told their soldiers was that the planets of the Separatists had no culture, they had no history, so any collateral damage would have no consequence, as it wouldn't matter, because those planets, they aren't really that important. It's more important to bring peace first, and the citizens, they can worry about them later, which is very strange for the Republic, which is supposed to be very democratic. You could definitely see Palpatine's seeds over there, you know, with him being a great dictator. And that's the one thing that I really enjoyed in Episode 2. As for Episode 3, The Solitary Clone, it was a great reintroduction to Commander Cody, and it showed a really interesting episode formula, as it was the Clone Wars episode formula with clones fighting droids, but it was a bit different, as this time clones were technically the bad guys and the separatists were the good guys, which is really interesting. What I enjoy about this show a lot is how the separatists are framed to be the good guys, even though when we watch Clone Wars they were framed as the bad guys, which really shows you that the Clone Wars conflict really didn't have a good side, as both sides had valuable claims, and it is clear that they both could have agreed on something, as Commander Cody proves in this episode where he tries to reason with the separatist. But of course, spoiler alert, the separatist is shot by Crosshair, so that peace can never happen, which is a great metaphor for Palpatine in the Clone War. You know, if actually all the senators, the separatist senators and the Republic senators, if they got together, riled up, and they spoke with each other, they could have made a treaty, and they could have agreed on something, and they could have had peace. And this even was shown in Clone Wars in the Padme episodes. Well, here, you know, we see that idea getting reintroduced, and then Crosshair representing, you know, Palpatine here being a clear metaphor for that, killing the solution for peace, as Palpatine wanted the war to run for as long as he could, so he could turn Anakin and do Order 66 and all that. So it's just a very interesting, again, you know, animated Star Wars comes in here, and there are all these great hidden metaphors in the show that really makes you want to rewatch it over and over and analyze it to depth, as I think animated Star Wars is usually the most deep Star Wars, as the cinematography and the shots speak a lot, which is something that the live action series sometimes forget. Not to discredit those, they are great too, but animated Star Wars is really slept on. So Bad Batch is a very neat show and I definitely recommend it. I'll catch you guys later. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week.